Everything is just spot on the money. Beautiful. Adam, you might want to check this all over. Before you just put it in the freaking car, you might want to look at it.
We put it on backwards.
Yeah, we put it on upside down and backwards. Is it possible to have it be perfectly sealed and never leak? There you go. Okay. Pressurized. All right, man. You can see here Adam LZ's billet, front plate, and mount. Notice what it used to look like. Now what it does look like. Permanently mounted billet plate right through here on the alternator. Everything is just spot on the money. Beautiful. Now, the other thing that we're doing here that we had a problem, and I pleaded with them, please, for the love of God, do not weld the flywheel bolts to the flywheel again. And so Adam goes, well, how about I just send you the flywheel and you can put it on? Perfect. So that's what we're doing. So when he sent the whole clutch here, now this is all sorts of coolness here. So obviously a 3-disc clutch from Clutch Masters, Adam LZ edition, because he even has his name on there. I might raffle this off at the end of this video. What do you think? Yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. But anyways, oh yeah, see? Yeah, pressure plate, all sorts of coolness. Now, yep. So what we've done here is, so we've made these lock rings, and this is a 12-point laser cut hole that we just need to torque and then turn the bolts right to the perfect position. I had to cut this down a little bit. That's why this one doesn't fit in there. But the bolt head goes in here and is impossible to turn. It cannot turn. It is locked in there. This is like a socket, okay? So think of it as there's a 12-point socket on these heads. Actually, it's actually 24, yeah. 24-point socket directly on that head of the bolt. So once it's torqued, we get them all in the right spot. Bada bing, we put this plate on. Now, here's where they had done before. They didn't think they could do it, or I'm not exactly sure what they were thinking, but they welded the bolts to this plate, which, granted, they ain't never coming out. Granted, they're never coming out. But holy cow, is it hard to make that all happen. So now what we're doing here is we're just going to drill, tap, and then Loctite in 2 small bolts that just red Loctite the bejeebas out of them. These ones you could weld on if we wanted to, but just put these 2 little bolts in right here that holds this retaining plate on and would keep it from coming off, okay? So we might actually do that. You know, instead of red Loctite, I think I will actually just do that. I think we'll put the 2 bolts in here, and then I'll just go over there and just weld it. And then the only thing you need to do to get that all out is just grind this one bolt head off, really small little bolt head, and you could actually reuse this plate if you wanted to. All right.
It does go on very tight. Those holes are extremely precise. So
yeah, it's just all laser cut stuff. So
yeah. So getting it off just the way it is right now, difficult.
Tough. Yeah, well, that's fine. It just needs to be on there. So this is not interfering with anything, but it is positively locking those flywheel bolts in there, which is actually really nice. And they're, you know, in a torqued position. So that's super cool. So we're gonna put we'll finish this up, and then I'll just go to a couple welds there. So let's do that right now, and then we're gonna come in here and we have this all sealed up. I made new billet end plates for the spacer plates for the billet intake manifold. And then we're going to, I got to call Freddie up and see where he wants me to locate this for a crankshaft or for a camshaft angle, if it even matters. But we're going to seal this up, and we are going to pressure test this. What we're going to actually do is we are going to put like 20 pounds of crankcase pressure, seal it all up, put like 20 pounds of crankcase pressure in this, and verify that there is 0 leaks. 0. Because there's always this little problem right through here. If you've ever seen that, there's actually a little problem right through there with mullet engine, and they fixed that because Devin took the intake manifold off and was leaking after that, and I think it's all sealed up now. But they showed all that there too, that how it was leaking. But it is a tricky area right through here, so we're going to be pressure testing this, improving this out, that it's all done. So let's go weld this up, and then we're going to hook this thing all up and start pressure testing and show you exactly how that all works.
Then you have to drill it out.
Yeah, I was thinking if you weld those bolts on, you grind off the head when it's time to take it off, how are you going to get them out?
How are you going to get the
threads out? Or the bolt?
Crap. Yeah. Nope. That doesn't make any sense. Thanks, Nate.
I mean, the plate's not really coming off.
No, it's not. All right, we're gonna go back to. I knew it's gonna be fine having this just red Loctite the crap out of them. There's no load on these bolts. They're not doing anything except just holding this one little plate on. So the plate is stuck on these bolt heads anyways, locked in there. So it's not gonna do anything. But yeah, you're right. I didn't think about it. If I weld the bolt on there and then grind the bolt head off, how am I gonna get that out? I mean, you probably could, but it's a pain in the butt.
That thing isn't coming off the way it sits right now.
It ain't coming off anyways. So we just bottom tap that. Let's clean that out, and then we'll put a regular bolt in there and then Loctite the bejeebas out of it. Absorbent amount of red Loctite on it. Whoops.
You're going to put Loctite in the hole too?
Nah, this is plenty. Those are a grade 8 bolt. We might even torque this down. Oh, look at that. He's even got his little quarter drive torque wrench. Little quarter drive torque wrench. What? Look at that little bugger.
It's cute.
It is cute. I have the same one.
I didn't think I'd ever use it, and I actually use it all the time.
12 foot pound? Yeah, okay, that's cool.
It does like all sorts of
beep. Yeah, they make
units.
this in a cool kit with all of them. There's your other one, right?
Yeah, I wonder where you got that idea.
Yeah, I know.
Because
No, I know you have.
first.
Oh, that's because they all go in here. Yeah, no, it's cool. But anyways, yeah, this little
Cody's
one's
got
kind
one.
of cute. Huh?
Cody's got the same kit.
Yeah, I know. So do I. You know who doesn't? It's Kyle. Kyle doesn't have it. Well, he does because he steals mine.
a different color though. Isn't it?
Mine's green, so nobody else touches it. So I can see when you guys are using my stuff. That's on there. Mark it so that we know that it's been torqued. We only mark stuff after it's torqued. There you go, and double check. So we'll put this whole clutch assembly on here.
Instead of having all the clutch discs having their own
Floating.
spline, floating in there with their own splines, they all interlock over that one hub that has one spline shaft. So your input shaft on the transmission, you don't have to fight it trying to line it up with all the different clutch discs, clocking each one.
Yeah, that's nice. Is that on? So that's
on the first hub,
on the first hub. Oh, that's cool.
and they all stack on
So
top.
yeah, and then the floater discs just locate in there, so that makes sense. See? Anything else you want to know?
The clutch master.
I have a clutch master. I have nothing that has a clutch. So that is where it's.
How's the pressure?
And then
plate?
the throw out bearing presses up against here. How does that?
Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing.
It must
Push
push this
No.
convex plate
in.
In the year.
flat, which takes all the pressure off of there. I'm here to tell you, you're not gonna push that. So, all right. Okay. Well, hey, Adam, you might want to check this all over before you just put it in the freaking car. You might want to look at it.
We put it on backwards.
we put it on upside down and backwards. Just don't take the flywheel off. Yeah, it must go on over the piloted hole there.
Is it still sliding up?
Yeah. We'll just leave that in there for him. Hey, what's up? None. Where do you want me? How do you want to put it on this cam sync, or put in the cam sync located at? Yeah. There's a long conversation with. You can probably put it anywhere. But I'll still get it in a general reference angle. It just can't be. It can't be stacked up on a crank tooth. Is basically all that matters. So this is a 12 minus 1, or actually we don't minus 1 on this. A link ECU doesn't need a minus tooth. So it just needs to have the cam reference needs to be in between one of these two. Any one of these two, it just can't be here. Because you can't have two references at the exact same moment. All right, so that's easy enough to do. I'll still put it in. He's gonna call back and give me what the last place it was at, and then I'll just put it there. As we're looking at this, I was 99% sure that we had done it correctly, allowing the 1% of failure rate, and almost failed because we could see that it's not quite right. I think what the deal is, we're gonna take this back apart because this does not look like it's centered. It's like, what the crap? And so there's something going on, and I think that the pilot nub is the wrong size for the pilot in the crankshaft.
Like the pilot bearing in the crank is larger than
The pilot bearing, yeah. So this bigger hole, and it just goes pink and falls down to one side because it's too small right here. It needs to be tight. God dang it! Look down the hole, and it's like, well, that sucks. It's not even close. Yeah, no, that's wrong. That's off maybe by 10 or something. Let's see how loose that is. It obviously it just falls. Yeah, so it's loose in the pilot bearing itself, and so when we put it all together, the clutch discs fall.
Oh, I think that pilot bearing's just shot.
You think the pilot bearing's just junk?
Yeah.
So Freddie's measuring up the shaft on the transmission, but I think when this came loose a long time, it's tapered out.
Yeah.
Came loose. It screwed this pilot bearing all up. Then getting that pilot bearing out of there is going to be a mofo.
It won't be bad. We'll make a punch and use grease.
I know, but it's all paper.
Well, the outside isn't.
All right. Well, we'll see what we can do.
Because it's tight at the very, inside.
Yeah, it feels like it's tight at the very tip, but then
Because you can see where the input shaft was riding.
yeah.
Where it
So
wasn't.
like here, it's obviously not supposed to do that. That's the whole point of this is that it goes in there and just holds it straight. All right, since we just put everything together and slid it all in and then tightened it up, we didn't see that it dropped down. So they would have got the transmission in it. Dog's face. Well, that was easy. There you go. So that's how wore out it is right there. Feels pretty much very minimal amount of movement, probably acceptable, maybe 5,000ths or so right there. On that side of the bushing, where the pilot bearing never was, but here you can see how far off that was. So needs a new pilot bearing. All right, we have found the 100% sure way of not effing up this clutch. We're not putting it on. He's gonna have, huh?
I'm in.
Yeah, Joe's in. All right, so we don't have a pilot bearing for this, so he's gonna have to put a new pilot bearing in it, and they can put the clutch on it. And because this is what the deal was he wanted me to do, so we got that done. He can put his own clutch on. So what I got done here is I did find that it was leaking air through the slit in the slip collar right there. So I've now siliconed this up, and what I like to do is I'll put silicone around stuff around the slit in there, and then I actually put a little bit of vacuum on it if you want to listen after they're done making air noise over there. There, you can hear it drawing air. So I actually like to put a little silicone around it, put a little extra silicone around it, the area that I think is bad, put a little vacuum in it, and it actually sucks the vacuum into the leak. Not much, but just a little bit of vacuum, sucks the silicone into the leak, and then take off pressure, let it set. So we're gonna come in tomorrow night, or I'm sorry, not tomorrow night. We're gonna come in tomorrow, and we're going to put pressure to it, hit it with soapy water like you would with a tire bead or whatever, and see if it's pretty good. Because let's see if, so we put vacuum right here. Here's the question. Is it possible to have perfectly sealed up engine right here? We're drawing a vacuum with this little electric vacuum pump. Is it possible to have it be perfectly sealed and never leak? Without giving an answer, why is it possible? Kyle.
I wasn't paying attention to what the question was. Can you say it
Oh
again?
my gosh, Joe. Double A Joe.
No, you cannot.
You probably heard my reasoning though, didn't you?
Well, we were talking about things that would pertain to that.
Oh, that's right. That's true. Yeah, I know. So I already gave Joe a partial answer. All right, Kyle. Here's the question. Where you put my little vacuum pump on the engine right here. The valve covers everything sealed up. In fact, it makes, you could hear it. It actually makes vacuum right here. We'll suck on it here for a second. Okay. Now, is it possible for this to never have any leakage? Like it's just a sealed up box?
No, not really. Because I can tell you exactly why.
All right. You guys tell me exactly why. It is not possible. You cannot have an engine. We can seal everything up 100% perfect. No leak anywhere, guaranteed. No leak anywhere. Where's it leak from? Leave your comments below. So we're going to come back in the morning after this is all dried up, pressurize it instead of vacuum it, and give it a little soapy water treatment and see if we can see any kind of leaks on here. But I'm feeling really good about it right now. I think it is really good. And I got the cam sync in the proper location, which is only can't be in one. can't have lining up magnets. So anyways, all right, we're going to come back in the morning. All right, so we're back here in the morning, and now we're going to pressurize the crankcase system, okay? And I'm going to see if you guys are right on your comments, okay? So if you've gone all the way to the end of this video and seen what the answer is and then put your answer down, shame on you. Pitiful. It's just totally pitiful. Totally pitiful. Double A Joe has lost all respect. Period. Gone. It's gone. Okay, so now what we can see here, this is just my little pressure regulator. Okay, so here is, we're just gonna go right for it, man. This thing has 10 pounds of crankcase pressure. It's broke. Like, you gotta foil the problems, okay? So we'll just go here. There has always been the problem child. Well, we got a little bubbler right there. I think I'm gonna solve. That's nothing, but there's a little bubbler right there. Now let's go take it down to like 5 and see if it still bubbles. Yeah, all right. Now that's actually just a seam in the machining right there. So we'll just put a little bit right there. That's no big deal. But yeah, there's a little bit one right there. But it is holding pressure. All right. Now we can do this the other way around, and we can actually put a vacuum on and see if it still holds vacuum, which I know it still holds vacuum. All right. So let's do that real quick so we can hook it up to our vacuum pump. So I mean, now that is at, you know, massive amount of pressure. So we will fix that little one right there. We'll suck into there. Actually, I need to suck into it right now anyway, so let's do that. Right here. Vacuum. Okay. What we're going to do is I'm going to clean this up, dry it out, and we'll put some silicone right there because I want to get it sucked into that little crevice. But it is not leaking anywhere up there, which is good. It's basically that's a minimal amount of leakage right there as you can get. I mean, that is a pretty small amount. Happy about that. It's such a minimum amount right there. It might not really even be able to suck that in. There we go. So we got vacuum on there. Do a little bit of moisture on it. That usually helps silicone dry. All right. And we're going to come back and see if we can make sure that that is not leaking anymore. All right. Let's give it another rest. All right. We've let this thing dry a bit. Put on our, let's put on 5 pounds here. 5, 6 pounds, whatever. All right. That is no leaky. No leaky. No leaky. Now, I already know it's not leaking in the pan. Everything's there. Valve covers, everything's good here. We can go up to the front, I guess. Then I'll show you something of what we were talking about. That looks good. Perfect. All right, now, what was your best answer of why can you never seal up this engine? Now, you probably could seal up the engine. You'd have to do one thing. You'd have to take all the rocker arms off of it. Processing, thinking. Why is that?
Spark plugs.
Oh, and spark. You got to put spark plugs in it and take off all the rocker arms. Because, guess what? There's this weird little thing called end gap when we have to file the rings to get end gap in there. So all the air goes right up through here. Listen. and you can hear it in the spark in any one that has an open valve on it. So you would actually have to take all the rocker arms off this, put all the spark plugs in it to get it to seal up, because it's just leaking past the rings, up through the intake manifold, out through the exhaust, out through anywhere. So that's what you would have to do in order to get it sealed up perfectly. Otherwise, it's just sitting here, just barely leaking. Somewhat like when you do a compression or a leak down test on your engine. You put a leak down gauge in the cylinder, you fill the cylinder with air, and you determine how much leakage it is. It has to have some amount of leakage. It is, even if you have a zero gap ring, typically it'll have maybe 1-2% leakage, which means it's leaking. Okay, it cannot be sealed up 100%. Cannot. It's impossible. Okay. So, anyways, that sealed up. This, don't fudge with it. Okay, so Freddie, so just in case, if you do have to move I put it in at 40 rising, and this collar does have quite a range of movement right here. You can move this collar without having any effect of the cam sync and then having to break that that seal. So remember that too. If I forget to tell you, hopefully you watch the video, as any good Adam LZ should, and Freddie. That's where you be. So you can move this cam sync if you need to get, and it's quite a range there. That's quite a bit. So you wouldn't have to move the cam sync at all. And we can do that. So this thing is ready to rock. Clutch is your problem. Got to put that pilot bearing in there, new one, because I don't have, this is right out of my realm. I don't mess around with that stuff. And this thing is ready to rock with a super cool billet plate, updated billet 15-to-1 pistons, spectacularly nice, ready to go to the PRI show. Oh, also, this is for you guys over there. This is for you, Freddie. I did seal these up. Notice I sealed these up. All it has been is, and I'm going to send you the correct O-rings and some, because I think this was your one fitting. For some reason, that O-ring right there is the wrong O-ring. It's just slightly too small. It allows oil to leak into this groove, which makes it leak right here at that pin. It does not leak down here. We just proved that all out. Everything's there. In fact, I'll turn it back on. Let's put the air back on just so you can see that. So there's our 5 pounds. All right. That is no leaky. No leaky. All right. Then we go over the other side.
I'm giving this thing a bubble bath.
We are. I'm going to have to wipe this thing all down. No leaky. No leaking. So it's just an O-ring back there that was a problem on the fitting that was making it leak through this pin. Let's see. There you go. Okay. Pressurized. All right. So this thing's ready to rock it. Now I got to clean it all back up. Ooh. You guys love it when I cut the manifolds. Oh, nice. All right. I'm Steve Morris. Might as well do you.
Double A Joe.
Camera guy Nate. Have a great day. Remember, leave your comments. Well, it's too late to leave your comments now, unless you just want to leave a general comment. That's it. Have a great day.